This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. Live from the Hammer Down Racing Report home studios. It's the Hammer Down Racing Report, presented by Oakshade Raceway. Let's get rid of that. There we are. Hi, guys. Yeah. And we come on with, before we even get to anything, there's a lot of breaking news. A lot of breaking news. So
let's break some.
We're going to break some right now. Here we go. I feel like I should be doing I was just watching the news before we came on. They always start off, breaking news tonight. Very serious sounding. Breaking news tonight.
Has been shot.
That is not the breaking news. Also, I was actually thinking, and this is not the breaking news either, but while the theme was playing, I thought that would be cool if somebody wrote a theme song for us to the Muppet theme. It's time to get things started. Why don't you get things started?
It's time to light the lights. Yeah.
Why do we always? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. The breaking news.
Yeah, okay.
Breaking news is Millstream Speedway, unfortunately, have canceled their test and tune for this weekend. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to tell you guys before we came out. So we're not going to be doing the live broadcast from there, and nobody's going to be testing their cars due to the forecast. We'll have details on that from Ryan Weekman in our weekend weather pit stop coming up a little bit later. The test and tune for Sunday, April 25th, is still on. Same time, everything's the same for that. So, and we'll probably, if you guys are available, we'll probably do the live broadcast on that day from Millstream. So again, Millstream having to cancel their test and tune with all the expected rainfall Saturday and Sunday as well.
A little cooler on Sunday, so yeah, no chance to dry. And
yeah. And our guests who are waiting here, we'll bring them in just a little bit. Doug Dock, Chris Mize from Sandusky Speedway, of course. They got a big event scheduled to kick off the season this weekend. We'll be talking to them about that as well. Also, some other breaking news. Just got this in right before we came on here. Apparently, let me read the story here. I got to get back to it, but I believe that's Ricky Thornton Jr. Crashed at Bristol during a practice there. Ricky Thornton Jr. hardened the wall and has lots of damage. So, World of Outlaws at Bristol on the dirt this weekend, the late models. So there you go. I think that's all the breaking news. Now we can continue on with the program. Coming at you live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube as well. And, of course, you can listen to us anytime on demand on your favorite podcasting platform.
awesome.
Yeah.
Ricky Thornton was 16th quick.
Was it? Oh, and I also got a text that Devin Moran, crap, I can't remember.
15.804 in the first session for Devin. He is 19th quick currently overall with a 15.579 lap on his 12th lap of practice out of 14. Right now, quickest is Brandon Shepard with a 15.083 around the 0.533 mile Bristol Motor Speedway.
So, and just practice tonight.
Just practice
Bristol.
tonight, yep.
Racing tomorrow and Saturday.
Yep.
Where was I? Oh, another thing here for the Hammer Down Racing Report, something new, if you're interested in sponsoring, we do have video commercials are available now. Pre-recorded video, we can pop them in there and play them anytime.
Wow.
Details at hammerdownracingreport.com under the sponsorship tab if you're interested. It's an option. Just throwing that out there. We like to do things so that we can keep doing this. As I mentioned tonight on the show, Doug Dock, Chris Mize, always entertaining guys from Sandusky Speedway. They got some interesting things on their schedule that we're going to ask them about as well. Before we get to that, I want to mention Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race every Saturday night, starting on April 24th with the Bill Reckner Memorial, featuring late models for the first time that I can remember, late model sportsman, bombers, and compacts. Yeah. Usually it's just sportsman, bombers, and compacts. So going big starting off the season. And I believe the outdoor capacity restrictions have been listed. I think Chris and Doug probably might know a little bit more about that. So that's a good thing.
Yep, but the Limeland also announced that they've confirmed their season as of today.
Yes.
They are definitely a go. So,
Got to thank our other
Governor DeWine.
Yes, I think from what I heard, it was like 10. Still groups of no more than 10, and then separate or keep your social distancing and keep wearing a mask. But other than that, we're good to go. Yep. I want to thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Millstream Speedway, Big D's Pizza, and Ron Miller Race Cars, other sponsors of the show. And now Jerry's on the clock here, so we need to get him with the racing roundup here before we bring in Chris and Doug.
All right, tonight's Racing Roundup, once again brought to you by Tim Sims, powered by iRacing. Tim Sims, Wicked Energy, and Wicked Relief Gum, sponsoring a new series starting tonight on the Dirt Racing Network. Shortly after the Hammer Down Race Report is over, you can join in there. It's Outlaw 410 Sprints. It's a 16-week season. We're paying out a $5,000 points fund. Should see some of the best iRacers in the country taking on multiple tracks. We got all kinds of neat giveaways. We're going to be doing some auction items as well, including this beautiful poster behind me, signed by Sheldon Hodenshield, fan giveaways, and all the proceeds from this 16-week season are going to go to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. So again, tune into that on the Dirt Racing Network on Facebook, also Tim Sims, powered by iRacing. Let's get into some racing action from this past weekend. Attica Raceway Park was in action with Monrovia, Indiana's Justin Peck picking up his first ever Attica victory and his second ever All-Star Circuit of Champions victory on Saturday. Paul Weaver, hey, I remember that guy. I've heard of him before. Yeah. He wasn't on the sheet last week, even though he won, but he won again at Attica, his third consecutive 305 feature win. Paul just so hard to beat at Attica and Fremont. Congratulations to Paul Weaver and team. The World of Outlaws Morton Buildings late models, Mike Spatola took home the victory Friday night at Farmer City Raceway during night one of the Illini 100. Colin Shipley didn't transfer from the B, and Rusty Schlenk ended up 27th. Bobby Pierce earned his first World of Outlaw late model win Saturday in the final night of the Farmer City Raceway Illini 100 and added $20,000 to his pockets. Next up for the Outlaw late models, the Bristol Bash. Again, practice going right now. Currently, Brandon Shepard quickest in practice. Modifieds will be in action down there as well. Ryan Ayers quickest in that. And Warsaw, Indiana's Dylan Woodling currently fourth quick in the Modifieds. So excited for those guys. NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaws Sprint Cars. Brad Sweet continues his march towards a third straight World of Outlaws title by winning Friday at Federated Auto Parts Speedway at I-55 and then led all 40 laps on Saturday for his fourth consecutive victory. Next up for the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, Kokomo, Indiana on Friday night and Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana on Saturday. Again, keep an eye on your weather forecast and on all your websites. Again, weather and possibly an issue on Saturday for some of those races. Other notes in the racing roundup, Jonathan Davenport won the Little Bill Corum Memorial at Tazewell Speedway in the Shaper's Oil Sprint Nationals Valvoline Ironman Racing Series co-sanctioned event on Saturday and earned $21,000. Davenport finished a half a lap ahead of second place finisher Kyle Larson. And that'll do it for this week's Racing Roundup. Again, don't forget to tune in to the Dirt Racing Network tonight or Tim Sims powered by iRacing, and we're going to be going racing live tonight with the Wicked Energy Gum 410 series, also sponsored by Down and Dirty Racewear, Dirty Dicks, and Tim Sims. So thanks a lot, guys. Have fun with Chris and Doug tonight, and I will see everyone next week right here on the Hammer Down Race Report.
Are you going to be racing, or are you just calling the action?
I will be calling the action tonight. We will be starting some other series that's going to be a little bit more geared towards rookies like myself. And I'll be racing in that. But, yeah, with this deal, that you're going to see some of the biggest heavy hitters in iRacing. Guys like Alex Bergeron, who won the World of Outlaws iRacing championship last year, pocketed a cool $30,000 for that championship. Kendall Tucker, who just won the last big block modified series with Tim Sims. This is going to be a huge event. I'm really looking forward to calling the action. And if you tune in, we're going to have prize packs that we're going to give away just for chiming in during the event. And like I said, we're going to have auction items throughout the season, and we're going to have special guests. A little birdie told me that a certain superstar out of Worcester, Ohio, may be popping in with us next week. So I'll leave it at that. I can't announce his name because it's not 100% confirmed, but it's 99% that we're going to have a certain child.
All right. Well, go play your video games.
$5,000 points fund for this video game.
That is a very nice video game.
That's a very.
I wish I would have won that for playing pole position or something.
Right.
Where's my $5,000?
It probably in the coin bank where we dropped all those quarters in.
It was probably to fix the cars after they blew up every time I ran into one of the billboards or one of the other cars. So, yeah,
wheels go flying.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, guys.
We'll see you, Jerry.
Have a great night.
See you, Jerry.
I want to thank Big D's Pizza in Clyde. Give them a call, 419-547-1444. Check out the Big Nut Double Decker Burger. Mention the Hammer Down Race Report, save 10%. And I guess I got a new drive-up window, too, which is pretty cool. I just still need to get that delivery over in the Toledo area, but we're working on it. I'm not sure they delivered to some... Do they deliver to Sandusky, guys?
No.
No. Unfortunately, not.
We'll have to work on Dean there. Or maybe we need to get him to franchise out and open up some more things.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do anything if you write the check.
Doug Doc, Chris Mize, Sandusky Speedway. Thanks for joining us. And you guys have a pretty ambitious schedule for this year at Sandusky Speedway, don't you?
Go ahead, Doug.
Yes, we got a lot. Well, first of all, let's back up. We've done a lot in the winter months, so got some pavement done on the track, some repairs there. Chris has been working on the go-kart track and widened that thing out, and a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Wait,
right.
you're telling me that Chris knows how to work dirt?
Yeah, a little
No, it's the machine. Not Chris at all.
A little bit, Ron. I stick to go-kart tracks.
Yeah.
Is it wide enough for a late model yet?
No, but
track?
I bet you I got a tour. I bet you I got a tour compacts and go around it now. That might be a hint.
Oh,
No, what's that? What's that I saw about improvements to the pavement on the big track?
Well, we had some bad spots. I mean, going down the front stretch, you seen it racing there. There was a spot that was peeled up, kind of. It was coming apart a little bit, and we've been, putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding artery for 2-3 years now with sealer, and we wanted to do it last year, but as you all know, last year took a big turn to the worse, and so we didn't do anything and just put Band-Aids back on it. And we decided to go ahead this year, precision paving out of Milan, Ohio, give us hell of a deal. We did that patch run, and we did a couple more on the front stretch, and coming out of 2, there was a real bad spot, 2 bad spots actually, where when you're coming up right out of the transition, there was a hell of a bump there. We did, and these are, normally we'd go 4 foot, 3 foot on the front stretch. We did 8 foot wide on that, 16 by 16 patches on the other, and hopefully it does good. And I spent a lot of time. One of the things, Kevy Jaycox, Kevin's son, owner of Sandusky Speedway, took over the go-kart track. What, Doug? 3-4 races in, we had some issues and got tossed over into Kevy, and I, like a dummy, I was begging Big Kevin, give it to little Kevy, I'll help him. After Kevy got it, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? That's one of the sections there where you can see, we had a real bad area right there, and it was, anytime super modified showed up, it was like a hold your breath type thing. You tell people that are driving around,
The
just
drivers held their breath.
Yeah. You'd say, look down. Kevin would drive around the track, and everybody would wonder, why is he driving around the track? Well, he was actually looking to make sure everything was okay. But, we expanded our go-kart track. One of the things the kart guys were saying is it's not wide enough. It's not wide enough. And the banking was kind of messed up. And we hauled some dirt in, and I did, the drainage was terrible. And I did the whole infield from the go-kart in pretty much I redid in the last month or so, and I'm not done yet. I got a little bit more to go on that. And actually we're gonna, the end of April, beginning of May, we're gonna pave where you guys were parked this winter for the cavalcade, that stretch down through the pads. We're gonna pave a 20-foot section wide there, tied in, and believe it or not, we're hopefully by middle of May, we're going to be changing bathrooms out, toilets and everything, fixing the bathrooms. So we're looking at a lot of things to do, you know. I mean,
That's a big change from a year ago.
Well,
The
and that's
track
pretty
was for
exciting.
sale. Yeah.
Well, you know, it was for sale, and I don't know. We put it up for sale. We didn't know at the time. Bev didn't know she had cancer, and Kevin and Bev were going to get out of it after what, Doug, 18 years?
Right. Yep. Exactly.
And they were going to kind of go out in the country. Bev wanted to have some horses, and she had horses when she was young, and, you know, do different stuff and move on. And, you know, unfortunately, we all know, you know, Bev caught cancer and passed away January 3rd. Well, I don't know. It was like beginning of December, somewhere in that area. We, you know, the conversation had come up, and we decided not to sell the track. So we took the sign down and, you know, move forward. So, you know, when you decide not to sell it, we also had to make a decision. We have to do improvements on it. So, you know, we'd have liked to have done some improvements last year, but you guys all know we didn't know. This time last year, we were all sitting there scratching our heads, wondering if we're you know, even going to get to race.
A lot of stuff up in the air last year.
Right. And, you know, now this year, we're starting out, you know, actually we're starting out better than what we ended the season on. I mean, Governor DeWine and State Health Department lifted the order somewhat. There's no more percentage of what you can have in the stands. That order was lifted, but 10 or less in a group, social distance, 16, you know, 6 foot, all that. You don't have to, what it says though, if you look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doug does more research on it than it. 10 people or less in your group, social distance, 6 foot, you don't have to wear a mask in an outside setting. And you know, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, it's 6 feet between the 10-person groups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
your group can be cheek to cheek, but it's
Yeah.
10 feet between, or 6 feet between the groups.
Right, because you know, how do they know if you're all family or not? You know what I'm saying? And it's not our job
To police that and find out who you're sleeping with and kissing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Ron sleeps with his secretary.
I do.
I heard.
There you go. So, you know, if you can't social distance with your group, then a mask is required, even in the outdoor setting. So, you know, that's got to be watched. So, you know, but it give racetracks in the state of Ohio, like Coach said, Pam over there struggled with some of the restrictions that were coming. Scott wasn't even allowed to open. And man, I feel sorry for you, Scott. You know, you're going to get the hangover come. You got nailed on that, not nailed on that. Now the practice comes and it's supposed to rain. So, you know, but it lifts the restrictions on like some of these people, Pam and Scott and, you know, of course, us and a few other Shady Bull and them.
And the other piece of that is that, let's say you do pack the stands, then it's just that everybody needs to wear a mask.
Yeah, so you go 100% capacity, but you better make sure everybody's got a mask on. And then, you know, that
at least you have options.
Yes. Yep.
Well, it's coming to, you know, it's coming to a head. I mean, the Ohio Supreme Court, one of the judges from Ashland, Ohio, ruled, what was it, Doug? Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday morning, that they no longer can shut bars down and restaurants and shut them down, fine them and everything for the mask order. It was, you know, against. So, you know, to me, when you come to Sandusky Speedway, when you are with your group in the stands, social distance, no, we ain't worried about a mask at all. But when you go inside that tunnel to the concession, you have to have that mask on. I mean, just because the judge ruled on that doesn't mean the health department, there's appeals and everything, the health department order still stands.
Right.
Well, and you guys don't want to have the hassle of having to deal with the health department. So,
no, we haven't.
Again.
We've been, I guess, lucky, fortunate, and I'm doing all the talking. Doug's looking like, is he ever going to shut up?
No,
But,
no.
I think he's used to it from what I've seen in your guys' videos.
yeah,
Yes, exactly. I just sit there and go, what he said.
Yeah. We've been very fortunate, and I know every track says, we got the best race fans. We got the best race. So we didn't have one complaint last year to the Erie County Health Department. My famous story is, and Doug will vouch for it, we're in the middle of High Miler Nationals. I think it was Friday of the Nationals, and I watched this girl go out in the infield and start taking pictures back towards the grandstands, and I'm like, who the hell's that? So, it's Sandusky Register, and I'm like, what? Because she's taking pictures back at the stands, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be in the paper. And next day, sure as hell, it was in the paper, but all our people were social distance, and so our fans. The reason why we were in good shape like we were is because the way our fans were, and everybody. You hate to listen. I got my opinions on some of these guidelines that I've been vocal about through the last year, but
I would never have known that.
You hate to. You hate to abide by something when you're used to something and you're told, no, you're going to do it like this, as grown men and women. But they did. And it was, we asked them to, and they did. And it just goes to show how much our fans appreciated the fact that we fought so damn hard for what we did. Me and Doug laid hours and everything else to try to get open and help other tracks in the state, with guidelines and stuff.
And you guys did, yeah. I mean, you guys were working together with a whole bunch of people. You did a lot of stuff last. You were a busy guy.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what, I never want to go through that again. I mean, there was nights people don't understand. There was nights me and Doug were on the phone till midnight discussing what the hell we're going to call and piss with the state about the next day, Yeah,
the worst part about it was the state didn't know anything more than what we knew. You call in there and they had no clue. We were putting them under the gun, and they didn't like that at all.
I think we understood their orders better than they did, to be honest. So. But I don't want to ever go through that again, and I don't wish that on nobody. I mean, then I'd have to get up and go to work at 3. But I mean, it's not over, but I mean,
we're heading in the right direction.
We're heading in the right direction, and we still have some regulations and restrictions, all racetracks, that we do got to follow, and these restrictions that we have now, I'll take any day over what we went through last year. Yeah. So, if a racetrack wants to bootleg off and say to hell with the state and this, that, and the other, if they get in trouble, it's on them.
I think a lot of promoters, when the capacity percentage restrictions were lifted, breathed a collective sigh of relief.
Well, yeah. I mean, Pam, I keep bringing her up because last year she had a couple big races that, and I talked to her on the phone a couple times that she couldn't do because she was restricted, I think, to 600 people and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And they canceled the big birthday race.
Right. And people don't understand. And I know I'm getting off track from our season opener coming up, but people don't understand out there. I always do, but yeah, but people don't understand what a toll that takes on a track. I mean, just because you're allowed 600, you got to cancel some of these shows that are your money makers. The bank still wants their payment. The insurance company, you still got to pay insurance. And people, well, if you're not right, you still got liability insurance to pay. You got electric. You got, them bills keep coming in. And when you can't run your bigger shows like what she couldn't, it's a big hit. And people don't understand that, And next time a driver this year gets mad at her or any other track promoter and wants to go up and start getting shitty about it, think about what they just went through in the last 12 months before you do that.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your opener, this big weekend you got coming up for the
before we go to the opener. We are doing something different this year, or we're bringing something to the track this year called fantasy racing.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Okay, you want to follow your format?
Talk about what you got coming up this weekend, and then we'll talk about the fantasy racing as well.
All right, go ahead, Chris, because you got these down pat now.
Well, we were at the cavalcade last year while it was raining. I'm walking off track. Kevin, I was actually walking down the pit road coming in, and Kevin's walking towards me, and it's raining, and it's a second try at the Sunday at cavalcade, and he looks at me and he goes, we ought to try this in the spring and have a spring cavalcade. And at first I'm thinking, hey, we can't even get the fall cavalcade. And, yeah, it's good. And I caught him later in the week. I said, you know what? That's a good idea. So what we did is we come up, basically mirrored our fall cavalcade 2-day show. We got beginner stocks. Doug's watching me because I screw this up. Beginner stocks, renegades, precision pure stocks, precision pavement pure stocks, CRS truck series coming in. The National Compact Series coming in, which used to be the Midwest Compact Series. They changed their name this year. Ohio Wheelman Series with street stocks, and, of course, the modifieds. And I anticipate a good car count. I don't know if we'll have what we had in the fall because, try to find auto parts right now. I don't get it. Ron, are you?
You're muted, Ron.
You're muted.
Unmute yourself, Ron.
Sorry about that. My dogs were barking.
I don't know what's going on with this. I mean, we got guys got engines that are sitting waiting. They can't get rods. They're on back order. I mean, as far as our pure stocks, they're having trouble getting the shocks that we mandate because they're on back order. I mean, the auto parts industry, I don't know what happened, but good luck. I mean, and then good luck trying to find lead.
Aluminum, steel, crazy busy. Yeah. You can't find it.
So our car count's going to be good. We should be up there. We're going to fight Mother Nature again.
How do you guys have any kind of a backup plan for this weekend?
No, here's the thing. When you get in, when you try something stupid like what we're doing, you really can't have a backup plan. I mean, you wash out because all the seasons start the week after, and you get into the seasons, and it just it isn't going to work because you got guys running points at their home tracks and stuff like that. So, if we wash out, we wash out. It won't be rescheduled till 2022. We'll try it again. But here's the thing. We're in Northern Ohio. If you don't like the weather, wait 24 hours. It'll change. And the weatherman can say, today I watched the percentages go 3-4 different times change for Saturday and Sunday. And so, we won't make that decision till Saturday morning, probably, unless tomorrow night, we'll start talking about it. But, it's going to be a good show. I mean, the precision paving pure stocks and the renegades beginner stocks are going to run a feature both nights. The cavalcades are always fun in the fall, and we always have really good racing. And I tell you what, the Ohio Wheelman Series coming in with that street stock deal. I mean,
what? Tell me a little bit about that series.
Well, it all started with us. I mean, a couple of years ago, we just weren't getting street stocks. And it's a funny story because me and Doug are like putting a pencil to the paper. Me and Doug, a couple of years ago, we both started basing everything off the back gate because you never know in asphalt racing. It ain't like dirt. Asphalt, you don't know if you're going to have 100 people tonight or 500 people. It's volatile, so to speak. And so we based everything off the back gate, numbers. Me and Doug are going, man, it isn't working because we're only getting 5-6 cars and 4 cars. So we let them go. We canceled the division. Second race in, Doug?
Yep.
And so a lot of different tracks got street stocks. When we started doing ours, we ran them at Thursday night at High Miler and the Cavalcade. Will Wiggins was first Justin Hamilton and them were looking at doing it. They were helping, but Will Wiggins this year, we did the Cavalcade. He was in charge of it. So he took it and he formed the Ohio Wheelman Series. And honestly, I expected maybe 12, 14 cars starting out. Any series starting out in today's world, especially the COVID involved. Will's going to be, he's probably going to be 15, 17 strong this weekend, but he'll be 20, 25 strong. He's doing a hell of a job promoting that. And you know, he's got some big purses for them street stocks. I think they got 10, 12 races. That's somebody you should have on your show. He's a good guy. You know, sometime he's doing a hell of a job with that, promoting it and everything. And I can tell you this, some of the top street stocks in the state of Ohio will be racing with that series. I mean, it's a tough ass series. It's going to be a good show, you know, but then, you know, you get into Billy Stralith trucks, CRS trucks too. He's struggled here and there, and he's worked his butt off, and you know, it's building up. I think we're going to have about 10 trucks. I've talked to a couple of guys, talked to Billy, and it's the same problem me and Ron were just talking about. I know of 3 trucks right now that can't get parts, that are in back order and haven't been able to get them for 2 to 3 weeks, where normally you walk in and are there, and that might stop them from coming. So, you know, there's
Chris, do you think some of these, we once called them support divisions, some of these up-and-coming divisions are getting so popular because the higher classes are just getting so outrageously expensive that the guys that want to race are finding a home in some of these middle-class divisions now?
Well, I can tell you this, and Doug will vouch for this. Our Renegade Stock Series front-wheel drive division and the National Compact Series too, but we kind of got chastised, 3-4 years ago, Doug? We started putting them up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And promoting the hell out of them. And it went from, what are you doing? You know, they had all kinds of nicknames for them. You know, sport division, shitbox, whatever, you know. And we kept pushing. Well, that's what, you know, you hear a lot of people say that. And I can tell you this, some of our best racing, Ron, some of our best racing comes out of that division. Now, it's gotten to the point where, and I know there's probably a super modified guy watching, no offense, but I call them the prima donnas. You know, when the prima donnas, supers come to the track, they don't worry about nothing but their super modifieds. We're starting to see super modified drivers come up watching the Renegade races. You know, we're seeing modified drivers go out and pace the Renegade field because, you know, the respect and no longer, in my opinion, Ron, and you're right, because to run a modified right now with all the bump stops and all the other bull crap and how out of hand it's got, you know, you're looking $30,000 to be competitive, $40,000. Street stock right now in today's world, if you don't have, you know, $25,000, $26,000, it's out of hand. You know, and some of these guys are dropping back, and you know, they can go run crap, but it's the truth. $7-8 grand. Some of these guys got $8-9 grand in these Renegades, but we're getting good car counts and great racing. We had 16 races last year, Doug, and I think we had 11 or 12 different winners in it.
Different feature winners, yeah. And you know we're behind the fans, and one night I stood up and looked out there, and when the Renegades are out there, a lot of people with phones videotaping that. It's incredible. Play hundreds of them. And I mean, the other divisions get the same, but not quite what the Renegades get.
It's kind of funny because I've gotten very close to the Fremont truck division, and in the past, the trucks were a good time to go buy a beer, go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Last year, I can tell you that the people were hanging around watching it. They go down in the pits, and they weren't. The fans weren't going to the 410 pits because those guys were loaded up and going, and the truck guys were there partying with the fans, and they've gotten extremely popular with the people in the grandstands.
We had that, Chris, where we moved that division up just to kind of see what was going on. Once they were done, half the fans left. It was incredible.
We had a pretty good division coming following them, and you know, I tell you how it happens. Kevin called me on the radio, and he goes, "Hey," and I said, "What?" And he goes, why are you guys running them last?
Yeah.
I says, I tell you what, I'll run them second tonight, and I want you standing by the tunnel when they're over. And I bet you 40% of our fans left. And Kevin goes, holy crap. And that's why I run them last. I mean, and you know, Ron, it's funny you say that because it's starting to get very, very popular. I mean, the front wheel drive and just to touch base, I look at it like this. Super modifieds, I love watching them. Don't get me wrong. I really do love watching them. I love watching the sprint cars too, but that fan base, there's not, the new generation isn't coming in watching super modifieds.
Right.
So if you got a 65 to 70 degree day where it's kind of sunny but not burning you up, you might have a good fan base. You got a 45 degree day cloudy, you're not getting it. If you got a 70, 90 degree day sunny, you're not getting it because, you know, they're all my age or older, and we don't want to sit, you know what I'm saying? A fan doesn't want to sit in it. Now, what we're finding with the front wheel drive division, pure stock division, the millennials, so to speak, especially at the front, it's all tuner. You know, you see the guy coming with his computer tuning the cars for him, and let me tell you what, it could be 35 degrees and a little mist in that, and we're still going to have the people there watching them front wheel drive. So a lot of it in the beginning, I ain't going to lie to anybody, was more of a business decision how on that direction that we went.
Let's talk about this fantasy racing thing. I've seen that some other tracks are doing this as well through My Race Pass. Doug, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, before you go to that, though, we want to thank Dennis Kapik. He has bought tickets for 40, the first 40 kids both days, Saturday and Sunday. So
for this weekend?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And then we're working on some other stuff that's down the line, which we'll talk about here. But fantasy racing, yeah, we get that coming to the track, and it's really brought to you by My Race Pass. If anybody's familiar with My Race Pass, and it's a free app, and really all you need to do to get involved in it is you download the app. The app is free. Log in, create your account, and then search for the track. Any track that's using this is going to be involved in it. But what you're going to do is it's $5.99 a month, and that gets you everything that My Race Pass offers, which is live timing, lineups, entries. It shows you pretty much everything. So the fans involved, when the scorer pushes out the lineups, it goes right to their phones. So what you'll do is you'll just right at the bottom click fantasy racing. It'll bring up the divisions and the lineups. Just click on the ones that you want, and at the end of the night, it'll tally your score. And you can play against people, or you can play against everybody, or just be by yourself, see how well you did. And even if you choose wrong, and that was the hangover race.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, we didn't even know nobody was playing, did we, Doug?
Right. Yeah, they turned it on a while ago, and we just kind of got on board with it. So you'll get points even if you don't pick the correct. You might get 1 or 2 points. Where if you pick the actual winner, then you're getting, let's say, 5 points. And then if you're actually at the track, you've got what we call show up points. So you can.
So the person that's playing the fantasy, just showing up at the track, they get points.
Yeah.
They get show up points, as we call it. Okay. And so you can play from anywhere. Like if there's something over in California you're interested in, you can play along. We're going to do prizes for like nightly winners. We might do a year end, for the one that's got the most correct. We might do something for the year end total winner.
That Josh, the Josh that created, one of the creators, founders, or whatever of My Race Pass, he used to be a promoter. at different tracks. So he knew, it was very smart actually. They can track where your location is. So, when you sign on, it shows that you're at Millstream, Sandusky, Oakshade, whatever. And one of the good things about that is he knew that if he wasn't given show up points and somebody could just play along, that wasn't really good for a track sometimes.
Right.
So he wants to push people to the track. So, you show up just like coming to the track for a points race. You show up, you get show up points. I thought that was, I'm not the technical guy.
No, he won't even talk to me about this.
Yeah. So
he wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So, but I thought that was cool as hell when we had him on and he was explaining.
He was a driver and he's into the dirt more than he is asphalt. We're one of the first asphalt tracks that came on board with, my race pass, but so he knows both sides of it and he tries to keep everybody in tune. When you go to my race pass, it's like your whole book is right in front of you, so you can tell everything going on at a track.
That's how I find out where I'm starting in whatever race I'm in is usually.
And a lot of our drivers are doing the same. Just use the app.
Oakshade's got my race pass, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
Millstream's going to be doing it too.
Right. So, this fantasy thing, that'll work out good for them guys too, because they can, back and forth, so it's a good thing, I think.
Well, I want to talk about some of the highlights on the schedule this year. But one thing that stood out to me was the June 12th Circus of Destruction, which I don't think I've seen you guys have something like this before. And there's something called Car Bomb. This sounds like maybe what's going on with this thing?
Well, yeah. We're racing June 11th, $1 night, and we got our Renegade Spear Stocks there, and we needed something to go on June 12th, and Drew Jack from National Compact Series was talking about an enduro. Well, we haven't run an enduro in a long time either, so we went with that, and we're like, we got to do more than just an enduro. Well, we got monster trucks from Monster Jam, 4 of them. I don't know, one it's the Ice Cream Man, and I don't know which ones. I don't follow the monster trucks, but then we were in talks with a jet truck, but it just didn't work out. We're trying to get another one, and I kind of lost hope in it and moved on. And Sunday night, Drew messaged me and says, well, Fred Sibley just signed on with us with the little red truck, the jet truck, and he's gonna, I don't know about the car bomb yet, but he's gonna burn a car. I don't know if you guys ever seen one. The Green Mamba, Ryan probably remembers the Green Mamba, used to go around burn cars up all the time. So he's gonna do a car burn, and we got some other stuff coming in, and yeah, we're not really noted for, I call them the dog and pony shows.
Yeah.
But something, the changing times, we can't stick with stuff that we did 10, 15 years ago and keep working. I mean, it does okay, but the object to stay open is to make money. And we've watched other places, and these seem to be a hit. I mean, I don't know too many places that haven't done stuff like this and ain't packed the grandstands. People love to see carnage. They love to see, I mean.
Exactly.
Oh, there's a track, I think it's in Rockford. I could be wrong, where they have a night where they call it stuff you shouldn't hit with cars. And they'll just put stuff on the track. And they have these like enduro like looking cars, and they just run like a piano, a gas grill without the gas or something. And they just run into it and just smash things to bits. And
I believe it's Rockford Speedway.
Is it Rockford? Okay.
Yeah, and the McCarnes family.
So you guys should do something like that. I think that would be pretty cool.
Well, I hope Drew's watching, because
will you bring your car down, Scott?
I could probably find some other car to use.
Maybe
my truck. It's pretty old.
We're trying stuff different, and that doesn't mean that I'm an old school guy. Kevin Ruick, I don't know if anybody remembered him. He passed away a couple of years ago. He was dog and pony all the way, and he used to hate it sometimes. But in order to stay up with the times and make your business survive, you got to change with the times. And this is something me and Doug have talked at length about, and so we're going to try it. You know, we got a couple things like our Renegade Rumble. We got an escape artist coming in. This will be funny, but go ahead, Doug.
He first of all, he was on America's Got Talent back when Howard Stern was on there. And what he's going to do is, now he wants our police department to come handcuff him. He don't want to use any of his handcuffs because people think, you got him all set. They will handcuff him, blindfold him, and I think put him in a straitjacket. I'm not sure about that part yet. He's got 30 seconds of rope tied to his arms while they're handcuffed, and he's got 2 cars, and he's going to say go, and he's got 30 seconds to get out of all that, or he's going to be really long.
He's going to be eating out of
Or armless.
Yeah, stretch. Yeah,
Or armless.
yeah.
What night is this?
That's July 2nd.
Is that a Friday? That's
Yeah.
right.
You were talking about escape artists, and I was thinking promoter. Gee, I probably raced for that guy.
Yeah, Sonny Adams.
It's a Friday. You can come on down.
No, I'm thinking about a race up in Grand Rapids at the indoor race at the Coliseum.
Oh, okay.
What other big events you got scheduled this year?
You know, high milers always our crown jewel, and you know, unfortunately, we kind of got, even though they lifted restrictions on outdoor events in the United States, we kind of got in a panic the other day because Canada has kind of shut down the border again. You know, they got the issue with the UK strain and
Right.
you know, the one from South Africa that Ohio State found, and so. You know, we got through high miler last year. We're hoping that clears up and the border's open. You know, if not, it'll be pretty much like we ran last year. It'll be ISMA, MSS. You know, we'll run it with their help because we can't have a high miler national ISMA sanctioned because there's what, Doug, 5-7 drivers from Canada.
Yeah, and we did lose a few last year over that.
Yeah,
In
we
fact,
lost.
one from New York had to be back by midnight, and
Yeah.
they were tracing him on his phone to make sure that he was
Billinger.
back. Who?
Wow.
Billinger, he had to be back by 12 noon Sunday. He
Off.
got down there on Saturday, raced Saturday only. He didn't come Friday, and he had to be back by 12 noon on Sunday, and he made it. There's another driver from another state that I won't mention his name, but you're going to see a T-shirt that comes out that says, "Where's Smoke Johnson?" And that's what we had. You know, he come down and went under an assumed name, and we all went with it. And you know, the guy at Flag Show, Will Patterson, come from Florida. He had to come in 2 weeks early, and you know, his family's in Elyria to quarantine to 14 days. And we don't, you know, hopefully we're not going to see that in the United States, hopefully, but hopefully the Canadian border opens, because we lost a good 300 to 400 fans for that weekend by not having a border open. So
And that
that's-
weekend,
Go ahead.
weekend this year is you got Thursday, July 22nd through the 24th.
yes,
And it's really a 4-day event. That's what I was just going to say. On Wednesday, if you get there Wednesday, they run a go-kart night that night. And so if you're there, I don't know, it's what, $10 to get in, and you can watch a go-kart.
yeah. So you know, that's our crown jewel, and you know, we got MSS coming in July, super modified July 3rd. You know, the Ohio Wheelman Series will be there 4 times total this year, both cavalcades, and then they got May 20, the Memorial Day Saturday. They'll be there racing. Then they approached us. We brought in what was called the Josh Neff Memorial Race. I believe it's in August. I'm not sure.
August 14th.
Okay, that's a huge deal. The Pops Clinic Memorial 2 weeks later in August is another huge deal.
Terry Cypher.
The Terry Cypher Memorial was ran at another track last year, and Ryan Cypher approached us. We weren't going to run modifieds high miler because on Saturday we're going to run them Friday. National Compact Tour is doing a World Series type deal at Kalamazoo. Friday and Saturday a high miler with us, and plus we're also bringing in the pure stocks. Terry Cipher Memorial will be run on that Saturday now. So, I mean, then we finish out with our cavalcade again. And actually, late models haven't been at Sandusky in 3-4 years now.
I was going to ask about that. August 7th, you got the Ohio Gold Cup Series.
And what that is it's a little different than like what the main event series or the ARCA Gold Cup. These guys run on 2 barrels. They tried to condense the cost, and Ron hit it at the cost is on these outlaw late models. Cost is astronomical anymore to run up, you know, like Carol Fair and all them guys, you know, they so Barberton and Midville Speedway condensed. They're running what's called the Ohio Gold Cup. They got a race at a couple other tracks, you know, Barberton, Midville, another track, and they approached us on it August 7th. So we're bringing them in. I mean, it was a good deal. So I look for that, actually. I look for that to be one of our better shows because, you know, everybody wants something that they can't have. And for 3-4 years, we signed a main event deal. When we sold it, we signed a no compete clause. That clause is up now after last season. So nobody's been able to have, you know, outlaw late models there because main events now, I believe it's defunct. I don't know, but you know, we just didn't have them there. So I look for that to be actually one of our marquee events for the season.
That'd be cool. What about the Vintage American race cars? They've been there before, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and I think Kevin was talking to them a while ago, and I don't know where we got with it.
Okay.
I'll check on that.
Sometimes
Which one's that? Is that the sprint cars?
No, that's the
vintage cars.
Vintage
old cars.
Remember the hospital visit?
Stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah. We have Randy Mapus. He has a vintage club that'll be there 2 times for sure this year, and I'm not sure where we're at with the other vintage group. I'm not sure yet. Kevin was handling that.
What about the Hall of Fame? I believe one of our guys over there is going to be inducted this year.
You know, that'll be Saturday of High Miler.
Okay.
Ron probably will be racing at Oak Shade or somewhere, but you know, if not,
I'll have a likeness stand in for you.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of a prestigious deal.
Yeah,
it's well deserved with Ron. He's won how many? 14,
15, but who's counting?
15 hangovers. You know, it's Ron's. You know, what would a hangover be right now without, you know, seeing Ron's car? You know, I mean, he's dominated it for years. Except for this year. Holy shit! I don't think nobody could touch him. I tell you, be honest with you, I still think about that. And I can't believe it. And my dumb ass will tell him if he can run both and win both, I'll get, you know, I'll start throwing money out, you know. But
yeah, just jump right up there.
Oh yeah, I mean, boy, was I wrong, but you know, Ron's dominated that event for how long now, and you know, the hangover race is. It's just what's Sandusky Speedway without a hangover, and actually Ron Miller's name. So, you know, it's well deserved. And just because he runs dirt during the summer, he's had every hangover, and it's a well deserved award. We inducted him in for this year 2021 Hall of Fame.
He runs
Chris,
snow.
Chris, I don't know if you saw the latest issue of Speedway Illustrated, but there was a picture. Yeah. There was a picture there of Steve working on his car in the rain. And Joyce Standridge, one of the writers for Speedway Illustrated, I sent a message to her inviting her to the hangover next year and telling them that it's time that they start taking a look at that race again. And I know how much she loves winter, just like the rest of us. But
yeah.
I think we may see a crew from Speedway Illustrated this year.
That'd be great. Don't ever let anybody out there. Don't ever let anybody tell you they can't run in a monsoon because we proved them wrong. January
Oh,
1st.
buddy,
We did no
painful.
more finish racing.
that
And
was
this the yeah, Kevin calls me on the radio and he goes, "Hey man," I said, "What?" And he goes, "Don't mess around. Get this through." And I says, "I know it's raining." He goes, "No, we're about to flood."
It
You know,
did flood.
Yeah,
The payout thing was underwater. I was
Yeah,
like, how am I supposed
and-
to get paid?
it wasn't. We didn't drop the last checker flag, and it wasn't even 10 minutes. And the track was coming up with water. You walk down, there was 2 inches of water running through the tunnel, 3 inches.
Yeah.
Doug's at one end, and he goes, "How deep?" "Oh, it's not deep, Doug."
Right. That's exactly what he said.
But
I have a 3-hour ride home. You don't.
But Ron, I congratulate you on that. It's well deserved. But we're hoping, knock on wood. We're hoping that we're in good shape as racetracks right now. A lot better shape than we were. We're hoping, that things don't go backwards; they only go forward. And we put this schedule together. We had a schedule out with all these bigger shows. What, Doug, in October? Most of the shows that we had at the end of October, and we've added a couple shows in, and we're trying some different stuff. And the old saying, throw it on a wall, and if it sticks,
See if
run
sticks,
with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Any chance of revisiting the Dirty 30?
or a true run what you brung.
I've been off that for a little bit. October.
Yeah, I knew that.
October 30th, and it's just it ain't. I forgot about it basically, but I want to do that. Run what you brung. Just I've been tied up on a bunch of other stuff with work and go-kart and everything else, trying to get open in the graphics store. But I want to run a true run what you brung, and hope you brung enough for rear-wheel drives and front-wheel drives, 6-cylinder and below.
It might surprise you that I've got a lot of friends on Facebook, and I've bounced it off of a few of the friends that go to and that race at those outlaw shows, and there's a lot of interest in it from the dirt guys up in Michigan, from a couple of the pavement guys.
I tell you,
couple of 305 sprint car guys.
I think it'd be a hit. And that was cool. And I can't remember now the Speedway that somebody sent me that clip. And I can't remember what track that was that ran that. And
it was over east, New
remember
Hampshire,
that.
Vermont. I don't know.
yeah. And there was a super modified running with the late models. And I thought, man, and I'm going to revisit that as we get through some of this stuff here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. But I can tell you, it's still in my head. And I believe I'm not sure if it's on a schedule. Is it, Doug? I don't know, but
Not on the website.
Okay, we're looking at it. I'll be looking at it here in another 3 to 4 weeks, and that'll give us plenty of time, October 30th, to promote it. And I tell you what, that'd be cool to hell to see you guys out there. Dirt late models, modifieds, dirt modifieds, asphalt late models, and throw a super or a couple sprint cars in with that. The only part I'd worry about is you guys weigh 3,000 some pounds, right? How much?
Not me.
What do you weigh?
2,400.
No wonder why you guys fly.
2,350.
Our peer stacks, okay, 2,400 for a modified, 3,000 for one of our stock cars. Them sprint cars weigh what? 1,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that's where I cringe a little, but it's something that we're going to look at. I haven't had time to do anything with that, working on the other stuff with Doug and Kevin. I got my hands full. My wife's next to me, and I got a pool going in. Did I tell you guys that?
A pool?
Yeah.
Outdoor pool.
Yeah,
Wow.
if I wanted to race this year, it's getting delivered next Thursday.
Next year it's going to become an indoor pool.
Yeah.
Keep us updated on the status of not only your pool, but the run what you brung.
Well,
race as
and I'll probably be here to keep reminding you.
Yeah. There you go.
One thing that I do want to mention is another change that we made is our regular admission for a regular show is $5.
Wow.
Wow.
And we understand. Me and Doug have talked about it. We talked to Kevin. The government can, and don't worry, Scott, I'm not going to go off about the government. The government can say all they want to say. They can pass. Well, I promised you before I wouldn't. They can say all they want to say, pass us out all this money. They want to pass us out. But in reality, a lot of families took a hit with COVID-19 through this last year. I mean, I've been fortunate enough. I've worked every day. There's a lot of people that took a hit financially because they had to stay home or that unemployment. Ohio unemployment's a mess. Well, he's getting
I can vouch for that.
Right. He's getting unemployment. Well, you wait 6-8 weeks. Oh, it doesn't. Go file for unemployment. You wait 6-8 weeks. It's the same agency to let people rip them out of $332 million on fraud. Right. People from the grave were filing and they were given it. But so we understand that. We also understand the uncertainty in today's world with politics, what's going on. And so we tried to go to where, rock bottom price where we could go. I mean, $5. You can't even buy. Yeah, that's you can't even buy a Big Mac meal for $5 anymore. Right. So and our one of the modifieds are there. It's going to be $12, but our regular show with our regular divisions that we run every Saturday night, mostly modifieds are only there 7 times, but we're only charging $5, and then we got what, Doug, $4 nights on top of that.
Yep.
So we're trying.
That definitely save a family of 4 a lot of money. I mean,
Ron,
kids under 5 are free. So
and that's what we're looking at. I mean, let's face it. If you're a racetrack out there and you're not looking at that younger generation, I'm not talking 20-year-old. I'm talking the kids, 5, 10. 12 years old. Once they get 16, they leave the nest. They get a driver's license. They, mom and dad, they don't want to hang around with them. But you don't start catering and getting these kids in with autograph sessions, go down and meet and greet the drivers and different things going on.
Or
that's our future.
Pull escape artists' arms off. That's
good right. Yeah. Well, I have a bottle of ketchup. I have a bottle of ketchup in my hand squirting it around. See, it's fake. It's fake. The ambulance ride was a joke, But if we don't get these kids involved somehow, some way, instead of just sitting in the stands or, you got to get them there first. And that's one of we're done. We're done.
Fantasy racing, you're going to see a lot of the kids doing that. We're going to try to come up with a lot of stuff to bring kids in because that's the future.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a lot. We gotta move on here, but you
got
your opening weekend.
I want to know what Brian Weekman's got to say.
Yeah, well, you'll have to listen. We'll have that. I don't know that you do want to hear what Ryan Weekman has to say, but we'll get to the weekend weather pit stop in a little bit. But you got the opener, the Spring Ice Breaker Cavalcade, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. Pit gates open at noon, racing at 7. And then Sunday, what do we got? Pit gates at 10, racing at 2 p.m. That's
right.
the way things are scheduled as of now. And keep up to date on your social media, SanduskySpeedway.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. Looking forward to a great season out there, man. It sounds like you guys got a lot going on. And keep me updated on the compacts on the go-kart track.
That's an idea that was tossed around, and I don't, I get kind of stupid sometimes. But
he said sometimes.
Hey guys, I really want to thank you too for all you do for racing. I mean, it's phenomenal the time you put in, and I want to thank Dean Henry too. He was on our Facebook page the other night. Big D's Pizza, hell of a guy. I mean,
absolutely.
He donated to July 2nd, and we want to thank him publicly for that. He's great supporter of racing. So if you're in Clyde, Ohio, make sure you stop by Big D's Pizza. They got great food and
the pizza's good too. So yeah,
support the people that support the programs.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Thanks,
right,
guys.
Good luck this weekend, and for the rest, I'm sure we'll talk to you before October.
Doug, Chris, good chatting with you.
Have a good day, guys.
All right.
We'll see you.
Yep.
Here you go. Doc, Chris Mize of Sandusky Speedway, a couple of great guys out there, and good for racing. And we have no Jerry. It's crazy. Still coming up, we have that weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman, your chance to win Big D's Pizza with this week's How Many. And we have a little bit of news to get to right after we talk about Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, the most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced, manufactured right here in the U.S. Check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. Check out the clothing and gear available on the website there, realgeese.com. Craig Mintz's hauler, I saw a picture the other day. Pretty sharp looking with the geese. So,
it is.
You see that? Yeah.
I did.
It's nice. Some news to get to here. The Hoserville, Ohio charity auction that was held Saturday afternoon before the races at Attica last weekend raised $3,857 for the Injured Drivers Fund. Dwayne Hancock doing a good job on that. I believe he's got some more auctions scheduled as well, as he kind of had to split things up this year. Dale Jr.'s Lost Speedways. Have you seen that? That show on Peacock, the streaming service?
I'm not a regular watcher, but yes, I've seen it.
Pretty interesting show. He goes and checks out old raceways that, they've kind of overgrown, and they talk about some of the racing that's happened there and interview some of the racers. That show is going to be coming back for a second season this summer on Peacock. So, from what I saw, sounds like he's going to try and get to some other tracks further out, I guess, but more like maybe East Coast, maybe up into New England. I'm not sure if we're going to get any around here, but we got a lot of them around here. Speaking of that, we had our Twitter poll this week, which was, which area track would you most like to see brought back to life? The choices were Bryan Motor Speedway, McCutcheonville Speedway, Manchester Speedway, and Mansfield Speedway. And we'll have the results of that poll here in just a minute. Which one would you like to see?
Bryan was fun. I really enjoyed that place.
It was pretty close, but we'll get to those results. Oklahoma sprint car racer Harley White will head to Ohio for the 2021 season to wheel the Ed Neumeister number 11N, I should say. A deal was in the works since the Chili Bowl. Everything started coming in place over the last month. Still working on a full schedule as tracks continue to work on the if and when they will open. With the restrictions, though, I think there's going to be more of them opening up. The current schedule will include racing both the 410 and 360. As of now, the team has 9 events from the end of April through the end of May, including races at Attica, Fremont, Eldora, and Lima Land. And next week on the show, guess who our guest is?
I don't surprise me.
Harley White. We're going to talk to Harley White. She's got a pretty interesting story, too. I guess her first race out was in, I don't remember if it was a micro sprint or a midget or something, a smaller car, and ended up rolling over and ended up, I think, on its side and then burst into flames. I guess she had like third-degree burns over 50% of her body. Oh. And once she got all healed up, she's like, I want to get back in a race car. So, and she's like a motivational speaker, and should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's next week on the show. We'll also hopefully get somebody from Fremont Speedway as well to talk about their upcoming season. So lots in the works for the next few weeks. Waynesfield returns to action. Oh, Waynesfield was another track that she's going to be racing at. They're actually going to return to action on April 17th with a 4,000 to win Fast on Dirt series event. So Waynesfield getting some races going again. The Arizona State Land Department Commissioner Lisa Atkins granted an extension on the special land use permit used for Arizona Speedway to continue racing through the end of November this year. Last week we reported that that Speedway was going to be forced to close after this past weekend due to that issue, but they are going to be able to continue racing at least through the end of the year. Atkins says she made her decision after hearing more information about the Speedway's operation. I guess a lot of drivers complained that they had, worked to get their car ready for the season, and then, then they got no track to race at because they're closing. So, cool deal for them. Did you hear about this? Taylor Gray, David Gilliland Racing driver, Taylor Gray, was involved in a single car accident last evening. Apparently, he was, I guess the accident was in Statesville, North Carolina. He was transported to a local hospital where he remains in stable condition. Gray competes in the ARCA Menard Series and is scheduled to make his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut at Richmond in a few weeks, Saturday, April 17th. So that may be postponed pending his condition. They're not really making an announcement on that. We kind of talked about this a little bit, where Carl Long Racing and Timmy Hill are not on the entry list for this weekend's Cup race at Martinsville. You may recall we talked about Timmy Hill was in the iRacing deal last year, was real competitive and got a lot of exposure for his sponsors, and so they built in part of their sponsorship package for this year with his Cup team, and they had planned to run a full season, was to have that exposure again on iRacing for that, I forget what league that is, the NASCAR guys, what they did last year. Yep. Unfortunately, since there's some deal with the charter, I'm not sure what the exact details were, but he was not invited to race in that, despite there being open positions for him to do that. So they couldn't fulfill their sponsorship obligations, and now apparently looks like they're dropping off. It seems like an unnecessary thing to have had happen, but tough deal for Carl Long Racing there. Jeff Gordon announced today that he tested positive for COVID-19 over NASCAR's Easter break. He reported he had minimal symptoms, and his wife and kids did not get it. Gordon will be back in the booth calling the race like normal at Martinsville this weekend. So no big deal there. Everybody's good. Twitter poll. Which area track would you most like to see brought back to life? The results are Mansfield Speedway. 37.5% wanted to bring that back. Manchester Speedway, just 6.3%. McCutcheonville Speedway was a close second there, 31.3%. Yeah. And Bryan Motor Speedway was third with 25%. Pretty evenly split though, among those three tracks, yeah.
Manchester's been closed long enough that a lot of people aren't familiar with it.
Well, and they kind of have the reunion there where they do a little bit of exhibition racing, I guess we'll call it. So, Millstream Speedway, don't forget, they have canceled the test and tune for this weekend, but the test and tune is still on for April 25th. That's a Sunday afternoon. That test and tune will be 1 to 5, same cost for the pit passes. There'll be food, free grandstand admission if you want to come out and watch that. But this weekend, due to the forecast of a lot of rain, which we'll hear from Ryan Weekman in just a moment.
And a real special for that 25th event down at Millstream is that you'll be able to get up close and personal to the Hammer Down Racing Report crew.
Yeah, I guess so, because we just decided that we're going to do our live broadcast there that day. So, yeah, that could be fun. See how that works out. It's time for How Many. Last week's How Many was how many All-Star 410s will be at Attica this past Saturday night. The answer was 30. There was 30 410s. Our in-studio winner was Jerry, who had to bail out early 41. Tonight. He picked 41. Yeah, you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, so he picked 41, so he was closest. We were both high. Crud. We actually had a tie for this week, and I forgot to put him in the wheel. We're going to have to spin the Big D's Pizza wheel after I put their names in here. The two winners, and actually, let's see, they guessed, J.D. Smith guessed one high, 31, and James Murray guessed 29. So we are going to have to spin the Big D's Pizza wheel after I type in their names real quick, but I got to get rid of last week's names. So we got J.D. Smith. This is the sausage being made. And James Murray. This is for a Big D's Pizza over in Clyde. So let's bring up the wheel here. There we go. Spinning the wheel for this week's winner. Looks like it's going to be James Murray. Congratulations.
Big D's Pizza.
There you go. Get in contact with me or Dean Henry over there at Big D's Pizza, and you got yourself a free Big D's Pizza. If you want to win a Big D's Pizza, here's your chance. The question for this week, Sandusky Speedway related, imagine that. How many Renegades are going to be in competition at Sandusky Speedway on Saturday night? Now, mind you, should they get rained out and they don't race, and that would be zero, because they wouldn't be in competition even if they are there. Just want to clarify that if they do any racing at all, even if they just get a heat race in, then they would be, however many cars are there, that will count. So that being said, if you want to put your guess in, go ahead and type it in the comments of our Facebook Live if you're listening to us on Spotify or Google Podcasts, whatever.
Aren't the Renegades scheduled both days?
Yes, I believe so.
What day are we?
Saturday.
Just Saturday.
Just Saturday.
Can we take it over to? Could we, if Saturday gets canceled?
No, it's too complicated. And besides, people have already guessed. So we've already spelled it out, so we can't really.
They could unguess.
They can unguess. And if we get people guess the same number, then that's fine. We'll do the pizza wheel. I'll try to be a little bit more prepared next week. But yeah, how many Renegades will be in competition at Sandusky Speedway Saturday night? That is good for a Big D's Pizza. We'll announce the winner next week. Ron, what do you got?
I think Dean Henry was one too high. He's got 19. I'm going with 18.
Dean's pretty good at this. 18. Well, I'm going to go with what Dean said then. I'm going with 19.
Oh, of course you are. Just put me on a block.
Yeah. Well, if it's 0, then you're going to win. So
True.
Look at it that way. And
All right.
Jerry doesn't get a guess since he had to bail. Does your secretary have a guess?
Actually, my secretary is in Florida, so unless she types something in the responses in the comments section.
Dean says, I'm not going to pick 0 because I don't want to jinx them. Got to support the racers. So, all right. Well, coming up this weekend, we have a few races. Actually, we got racing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll have your weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman just after we go over these races. Tomorrow night, Attica Raceway Park. It's Underground Utilities Night featuring the 410 Sprints, late models, and the 305 Sprints. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:45 p.m. tomorrow night. General admission's $18. Sandusky Speedway talked about this. The Spring Ice Breaker Cavalcade featuring modifieds, pure stocks, Renegades, CRS trucks, Ohio Wheelman Series, National Compact Touring Series, and beginner stocks. Gates open at noon, racing at 7 p.m. General admission is $15 for Saturday. Sunday, back at it again. With the modifieds, pure stocks, Renegade, CRS trucks, Ohio Wheelman Series, National Compact Touring Series, and beginner stocks. Pit gates open at 10 a.m. with racing at 2 p.m. General admission, $20 on Sunday afternoon then. And keep a close eye on SanduskySpeedway.com or their social media for any updates due to the weather. Speaking of which, here is Ryan Weekman with your official weekend weather pit stop.
This is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Let's step out towards Attica on Friday evening. It will be a breezy day. Look for just the chance for some late day scattered rain showers, and that's going to be a trend for all the races this weekend. Saturday, a very breezy day. Rain showers will increase, unfortunately, just in time for the races out towards Sandusky. And you look towards the afternoon races at Sandusky as well. Rain will continue to be a threat. It'll be a cooler breeze. Temperatures a touch lower, but rain still very possible. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. Be sure to download that free First Alert weather app. We'll keep you ahead of the rain out there this weekend. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
There you go. Your weekend weather pit stop. Kind of soggy sounding this weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's wrong. Hopefully things change. And the weather pattern could change. You never know.
So I just hope that, and we talked about this last year with Ryan. It seems that this time of year, weather patterns seem to repeat themselves on a weekly basis. So I hope we don't wind up with a bunch of wet weekends.
Let's not get stuck in that kind of rut. We got a lot of opening weekends coming up here including Sandusky's this weekend. So fingers crossed. Thanks to our associate producer, Dave Kemmer. He helps out with all the show prep, as well as Matt Swander, Doug Dock. Next week on the show, as I mentioned, sprint car driver Harley White out of Oklahoma. She's going to be running the 11N around Ohio for this summer, at least the first couple months here. And we'll be talking to her next week. Hopefully we'll either get Justin Lisky or Ryan Sheets on from Fremont Speedway as well to talk about their season. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll have Christina Hendricks from Oakshade Raceway to talk about the Oakshade season opener and their season coming up. I'm sure they're feeling a little bit of relief with the relaxed capacity restrictions. And also with John Young, he's racer of the 15Y Bomber, is throwing in a free 4-pack of tickets and drink and burger, I think it is. So it's like a whole meal and racing package for Oakshade Raceway. And don't worry if you don't have a family, if you're just a single person and you want to go to the races, he says that it can be split up. Basically, you can use it 4 times. So four
cheeseburgers, 4 Cokes.
Yeah, I mean, not all at the same time. You can go 4 different weeks. Or if you're, it's just you and a couple, you don't have any kids yet, that's cool. Or it's just you and a buddy, you can go twice. Basically, you get 4 uses out of it. And I think, we'll just leave it at that. We'll be doing that.
We would encourage you to bring a friend, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you have a family of 4, bring a couple friends anyways. Yeah. And then you can split the cost of the extra couple tickets.
Yeah.
All right. I got nothing after that. That's going to do it for this edition of the Hammer Down Race Report. No Hammer Down hotline this week. I know you're disappointed. Apparently the crazy guy's laying off of Ron this week in his trailer. But if you want to leave a message, be on the end of the show next week. Call 419-318-3081. Leave a message anytime, day or night. Again, that's 419-318-3081. That's the Hammer Down hotline, which didn't see any action this week. Thanks again to our sponsors, Oakshade Raceway, our presenting sponsor, as well as Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Millstream Speedway, Big D's Pizza, and of course Ron Miller Race Cars. I forgot to do your plug, Ron. What was I thinking?
No, we're here.
Ron Miller Race Cars, 734-856-7223 for race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs, except for aluminum, because apparently that's hard to get, right?
Oh, buddy. If you're building a black race car and you haven't got the body done yet, you're in trouble.
Well, I'm glad mine's done then. And it's mostly blue.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We'll be back. Your car is done?
It's in my garage now, so it was ready to go for this weekend.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I guess now it'll be ready for opening night in a couple weeks. We'll be back next week, 7 o'clock, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter. We'll be there, and it'll be fun. Join us.
All you folks that were saying hello in the comments, hello right back at you.
Absolutely.
Have a good evening. Ray.
We're out.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.